All right, so Unit B is what we're working on today. Again, this whole book of stuff is review from algebra, and today we're talking about everything that really relates to graphing linear equations. So finding slope, the slope formula is where you subtract your y's on top and then your x's on the bottom, or rise over run, however you want to think about it. So here I like to connect my y's and my x's like this because I know I'm going to do 11 minus negative 18 and 12 minus 15 on the bottom. So here this should give me 29 over negative 3, and I don't believe that simplifies. It does not. So that's my final answer, 29 over negative 3. Finding the slope from a graph, we're doing rise over run. So we're just going to count our grid spaces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looks like, up, and then over 1, 2, 3. So 5/3 is our slope on number 2. Find the slope of a line parallel to y equals x minus 2. So remember our point slope formula, or not point slope, slope intercept formula is y equals mx plus b. So our slope is in front of x. So in this case, our slope is 1. Parallel lines have the same slope. So that's still going to be a slope of 1. Here, I'm going to have to rearrange it to find the slope. So I'm going to try to isolate y like I did over here. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. So we have negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 2. And then I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. So we have y equals 3 halves x, because 2 negatives make a positive, minus 1. So a slope of a line parallel to that would still be 3 halves. They have to have the same slope. Find the slope of a line perpendicular to y equals 2x minus 2. So perpendicular means you're using the opposite reciprocal. So if you have a, b, you'd flip it upside down and use the opposite sign. So here my slope is 2. So the slope of a perpendicular line would be negative 1/2. That would be your opposite reciprocal. All right, 2, we're going to have to rearrange and isolate y. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. So I have 5y equals negative 4x minus 5. And then I'm going to divide everything by 5. So negative 4/5 x minus 1. So perpendicular means I have to flip it over, and since it was negative, now it's positive. It's our opposite reciprocal. All right, next page. Write the following in slope-intercept form. So we are already doing that really on the last page. We have y equals mx plus b is slope-intercept form. So for this one, I would subtract 2x from both sides. So we get y equals negative 2x minus 5. All right, on this one, we're going to ignore this minus 5 that's floating here. We are going to subtract 7x from both sides. We have negative 5y equals negative 7x plus 25. And then we'll divide everything by negative 5. So we have y equals 7/5 x minus 5. Find the slope and y-intercept of the line. So this is easy because it's already in slope-intercept form. So for this one, my slope is negative 6 and my intercept is 1. This one I'll rearrange first and then we'll do the same thing. So we'll subtract 7x from both sides. And then we'll divide everything by -4. So you have y equals 7/4 x plus 5, where your slope is 7/4 and your intercept is 5. Find the intercepts of the equation. So this one, when I teach it in algebra, I always like to set up a t-table. Okay, so your y-intercept is when x is 0. So if I plug in a 0 for x, really what I can do here is cover this up because that's going to make that 0. And then if I divide by 3, I get 5. My x-intercept is when y is 0. So I can cover up this part. If I divide by 10, I should get 1.5. So that's how I like to find them. And how I show my algebra students. This one says find the intercepts. I'm still going to set it up like a t-table, but we're just going to look at our picture. So our y-intercept looks like it is down here at -5. And our x-intercept is right here on -3. Sketch the graph with the given information. X-intercept of -2, so we put that on our x-axis. Y-intercept of -4, so that one goes on our y-axis. And then as long as you have 2 points, you should be able to create a straight line. Number 2 says x-intercept is 2, y-intercept is -1. And then again, we just have to connect those. Sketch the graph of the line y equals 6x minus 1. So this one, our intercept is -1. That's where we'll start on our y-axis. And then our slope is 6, meaning we'll go up 6 and over 1 to get another point. Okay, on this one, our y-intercept is 5, so that's where we'll start. And then our slope is -6/5, so we'll go down 6, right 5. All right, I think just 2 more. Sketch the graph of the line 6x minus y equals -1. So when things are in standard form like this, I like to use our intercepts trick we did on the last page. So if I plug in a 0 for x, I'll go ahead and draw the box. That means that y is going to end up being +1. If I plug in a 0 for y, that means that x is going to be -1/6. And I can just do my best to estimate -1/6. Your other choice here is to rearrange your equation, where you would have -y equals -6x minus 1, and then you'll have to change all the signs to get rid of that negative. So you have +1, and then you're going up 6, right 1, or down 6, left 1. So I was pretty close to my estimate there. Gotta adjust slightly. A little bit steeper. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing where I find the intercepts, because I think that's easier than rearranging. So if x is 0, then y would end up being -1. If y is 0, then x is 2. And then I have my 2 intercepts to plot here. And there's my line. All right, your assignment for the rest of today is to work on the corresponding yellow pages. So there's 4 of them, just like there were 4 pages in our notes, and they're in the yellow section of your bound book here. And they all say Unit B at the top. So it should be 4 yellow Unit B pages.